Howdy do, gin lovers. Welcome to the first official Jincast. Today we will be speaking about numerous topics such as the Steam Deck, the future PlayStation games, and the Nintendo Switch. All right, so let's start with the Steam Deck.
Oh,
So, I watched the teardown. I'm quite excited about its repairability, personally.
yeah, like I think that the fact that Valve is going to be selling replacement parts is just, other
Yeah,
than the fact that, yeah, I think they kind of went a little bit overboard in the video, like, don't open this, don't open this, but I can
yeah.
kind of
No,
see.
it was a bit like, don't open this or your house will explode. But also, if you want to open it, you can do that.
It was, but
It's like sending mixed signals.
yeah, and I was watching some videos on the teardown, and somebody compared the Steam Deck to Apple.
Oh, wow,
And
really?
yeah, I'm like, how is the Steam Deck I mean, yes, Steam obviously doesn't want you to open it and screw it up, and of course they're going to void your warranty for that. But literally any
Yeah.
manufacturer would do that. But
Yeah, I mean, voiding your warranty is fair. I don't like what Apple does with, like, they specifically put in sensors to make it so you can't open it
oh,
very easily
oh yeah,
and take
that's
it out of its chassis. Um, But yeah, I think it's positive that they've taken this step in repairability because yeah, I like tinkering with tech. So if I ever got a Steam Deck, I would want to try and repair it myself. It would go horribly wrong, that's for sure, but I would still want to do it myself.
To be fair, the way that the Steam Deck looks like it's set up, which I think is a really cool thing, is it looks like a lot of the stuff you need to repair is modular. Like you saw how on the
Yes.
teardown where like the joystick wasn't like soldered in, it was just like a sort of a ribbon cable that you had to,
Yeah.
you could just pull it out. Um,
Yeah, that's quite cool. I wonder in the future to save money if I'll just be able to just buy the parts and then build it myself.
I mean, I'm sure that's possible. Back in 2020, back when Switches are really hard to get, I saw
Yeah.
a YouTube video of somebody who, this isn't the Steam Deck, but this is Nintendo Switch. They basically ordered parts for the Nintendo Switch, and they were able to build a Nintendo Switch just by using parts they were able to find online. And I thought that was super cool. So being able to do
Yeah.
the same thing with the Steam Deck might also help lower that cost a little bit. I mean, $400 for a base. I know the 64 gigabytes, which especially in the term realm of PC gaming isn't a lot, but
Mm.
it would also lower that barrier of entry and hopefully make the Steam Deck accessible to more people, which I think is a positive
Yeah.
thing.
I won't be getting a Steam Deck personally, at least not for a few years, because one, it'll probably cost a lot of money in my wonderful land, and I just don't need it personally because I have a good PC and I can just stream from it. But I don't know. I feel like maybe the 64 gigabyte model was for people who don't care about speed so much, and are willing to just get like a 1 terabyte SD card, or people who are going to be using it for emulation.
Yeah, I think that 64 gigabyte one's a perfect one for emulation and or indies because
Hmm.
indies usually aren't that big.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the Steam Deck will be quite good for emulation, which do you think could be a threat to Nintendo? Because like if the Steam Deck's powerful enough, why should I get a Switch if I have a Steam Deck and I can just emulate Breath of the Wild legally by just buying the game physically and taking the ROM. As far as I know, that's legal.
All right, so um, first, I don't think it's gonna be any threat to Nintendo. First of all, if you were say if in this scenario you were to buy the game, because Nintendo, like all console manufacturers, I think Nintendo still makes a profit off the Switch, but they don't make as much as
Yeah,
say if you were to buy the game. um Even if we were to like say I'm planning on getting anyways a Nintendo Switch dedicated for dumping Nintendo Switch cartridges. Obviously, because Nintendo is still getting money from me, that Nintendo wouldn't be in any pressure at all. And even if people were to pirate the games illegally, then the Steam Deck is going to be such a small seller. You're not going to see. I think Valve has even said you're not going to see the Steam Deck in retailers and such. So
Hmm.
the Steam Deck isn't going to get the same mainstream appeal that the Switch has. It's not going to sell 900 million units. In fact, I think if this thing can even break like 5 million units, which I think it will, uh, I think that'd be impressive for the kind of device it is, especially when you compare it to devices like the Aya Neo and the GPD Win, which are basically the same devices as the Steam Deck is, except way more expensive and a bit less powerful.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. Yeah. It is a niche thing. Because a lot of PC gaming is around getting like a lot of performance and stuff for your desktop. So I think a lot of people, I don't know, might not be willing to sacrifice all that performance just to take it outside because gamers don't leave their house. We all know that.
well, you also have to consider the fact that gaming laptops exist. Now, while
Yeah.
I personally like I have a gaming laptop right beside of me, and while I like my gaming laptop, it is a pain to, I can't really play it in the road because I'll be sitting there with the laptop in
Yeah.
my road and my Xbox controller in my hand because I like playing with controller. I'm like I feel like I'm one of the very few PC gamers who's like, let me boot up my PC and connect my Xbox controller first thing.
Yeah.
But it's um that being said, I think that Steam, like you said, like we've already established, the Steam Deck is a very niche thing, but it caters to. Well, I think what the niche is going to cater to, it's going to cater to very well, and I think I might even expand that niche.
Yeah. In my opinion, gaming laptops just they aren't portable. Because they are very unwieldy if you get a good one. Like,
Oh,
I know someone with a 3060 laptop. It can't fit in most travel like laptop bags because it's just so gigantic. Um, so I don't know. I don't think for portable gaming laptops are so great, especially because their battery life is normally quite atrocious. I had like a 1050 laptop. After a while of having it, the battery only lasted like an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, just on like Zoom calls even.
well, that's
Like
just
it didn't.
oh,
Yeah,
well, that's just because well, battery degradation, obviously, but also
yeah.
with laptops, I don't know if you overrode this, but I think by default the laptop gaming laptops also won't use the internal the dedicated GPU. It'll use the integrated GPU in most cases if it's unplugged.
I disabled that
You
because
disabled that?
Minecraft kept using the iGPU instead of the graphics card. So I disabled the iGPU because I wanted to play with shaders. So that might be why. But yeah,
But
still, if you want to game portably, you don't want to be stuck with an iGPU. Otherwise, you could just buy a cheaper laptop. Yeah,
oh
instead
yeah,
of a gaming one.
yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment. I mean, I'm not typically the one who goes after gaming laptops because even though like a lot of gaming laptops they have like 30 series or 20 series cards nowadays,
Mm.
the thing is I believe that laptop GPUs are not as good as the desktop counterparts,
No,
obviously.
it's a proven fact. They aren't. Like a 3060 mobile is just not as good as a 3060 desktop,
Yeah,
especially if it's max Q.
yeah. But I'm really excited to see what the Steam Deck is able to do once it comes to market.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting, especially once we actual people start getting their hands on it. I mean, I'm not saying like
Yeah.
I think right now developers have them, and it's pretty cool seeing uh
Yeah.
it get support.
I could imagine it's not that hard to develop for it. You just need to make sure that the games could are optimized for Zen 3 architecture and can work with controller.
I thought it was Zen 2.
That's
Let me double check. I think it's Zen 2.
Are you sure?
I'm
Wasn't like one of the big things about it is it's more powerful than the other ones because it's Zen 3? Or I
it
might
it
be wrong.
it's Zen 2. It's
Oh,
four
okay.
core, 8 thread. Although it does,
Okay.
well, the thing that does have better than the other ones is it has LPDDR5, which I don't think is officially out on the market yet. If it is, it's
No,
very, very
I
new.
don't think so. Um, that's quite exciting that it has such fast RAM.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so another topic with the Steam Deck is what is Valve doing right or wrong? I think they're doing a lot of things right.
I'd have to agree. I think.
Um, yeah,
Were you gonna
sorry.
Were you gonna say something? You can say it.
No, just carry on.
All right. So I think that Valve is doing pretty well with the Steam Deck because I think they announced it right at the perfect time in July when people were like, the Nintendo announced the OLED and everyone was like, really?
This thing.
I mean, it's we'll get in more into Nintendo later,
Yeah.
but I think that the fact that people really want more performance, and let's be honest, the Switch has been out for like what 4 years now. The idea of
Mm,
taking console grade games on the go, even if is wearing thin, especially when so many sacrifices have to be made to get these games to run on the Switch to begin with. Not to mention, yeah, the Switch is as powerful as an Xbox 360, well, more powerful than an Xbox 360 in your hands. But considering the fact that developers are now starting to take, it's just is another thing that I can't wait to get into because this is one of the things that I really, really hate. But developers are taking the cheap way out on the Nintendo Switch and making more cloud versions. I think something like the Steam Deck is going to be really nice to be able to actually, play your
yeah.
games locally on the go rather than,
Yeah.
on a data center somewhere, need to be connected to the
Mm,
internet, which in my not so expert opinion isn't good for portable gaming.
yeah. No. See, game streaming can work. It's definitely potential. I have had very limited access to it. Only from streaming from my local PC to my cell phone, which has worked besides on data. Which is a big thing for portable because, well, you want to take it places, so you'll have to work off of, say, a data hotspot. So if it's cloud gaming, that's gonna run really poorly. And at that point, why do it in the first place and not just get a computer or something?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you won't be able to play it very well portably anyway.
That makes sense. Um, shoot, what? Hold on, I'm having a brain fart.
That's fine.
um, all right, so, uh, give me a moment. What is Valve doing right or wrong? I also think it is very cool how I just remembered what I wanted to say. The one missed opportunity for Valve in the Steam Deck. I know this is an essential thing, but I think it should have had 5G. Especially with the way PC gaming is, I really think it should have had 5G because of all the DRM and stuff that's usually associated with PC gaming.
Um, why do you say that?
Because, like, okay, so you probably already
Like
know
5G data or
data.
okay.
Um, I've already told everyone probably already knows this, but I don't have internet at my house. Like the way I'm doing
Oh
this
yeah.
at my house is right now is I'm using my hotspot. But like a lot of the games on my Steam library, um, okay, I'm being a bit hyperbolic when I say a lot, but there are quite a bit of the games in my Steam library. Like I'll pull it up, like they use DRM like Denuvo, and if you're not online, a lot of games with Denuvo won't launch if
Uh,
you're in offline mode on Steam. Anyways, I don't know if Valve is gonna remedy this in the Steam Deck. Maybe they will, and once I get my Steam Deck, I'm gonna hopefully go through a breakdown of it. But Like games like Persona 4 Golden, I have to it uses Denuvo, so I can't play that unless I'm connected to the internet, so I can verify I have it purchase, I have the rights to it. Um, Persona 5 Strikers is the same way. Now, obviously, any game that doesn't have DRM, say if you were to buy games off GOG, for example, except for that Hitman 3 Cloud, not Cloud, but there's a whole controversy surrounding Hitman 3 on GOG. But anyways, any game that uses Denuvo, it's a game you'd probably struggle with um, doing that. And I mean the PS Vita, and I know that Steam Deck isn't a console per se, but the Vita back in like what when did the PS Vita come out? 2013,
I'm not sure.
2011?
A while ago, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
a while ago. Um, PS Vita had a SKU that offered stuff like 5G, not 5G obviously, but 3G. So
Yeah.
I think even having like an optional, like maybe a module you could put in the Steam Deck, like
Well,
I for cellular data, I think that would really help with the portability factor of the
it
console.
has Thunderbolt ports. Someone will make it at some point. We know this. So chances are there will be an add-on at some point. Whether it's good, we won't know that till it's out. But I'm betting on there will be an add-on at some point, whether it's official or not.
I don't think this actually has Thunderbolt. Let me check because I think Thunderbolt
Oh,
is
okay. I don't know about
Intel.
Thunderbolt, but
It does have
maybe it'll work through USB. I don't know.
it does have
Maybe it's
USB
too
Type C.
fast.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It should I might work with USB Type C, but it let me check. Yeah,
I don't. Oh, okay.
it just has
I don't
USB.
know much about how 5G speeds work, so I don't know if USB-C is enough. Um, but maybe they could make some sort of 4G, 5G type of thing.
I mean, even a 4G uh attachment would probably work, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I mean,
Um,
it just needs to get the game launched, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, so 4G would work.
yeah, and I mean, uh I use 4G to launch my games all the time. So as long as it can connect that connection to the server and be like, "Yo, you purchased this game," I think that should be it, and that should be all. Also,
Yeah.
another
I
quick.
mean, an alternative workaround is just making a hotspot on your phone, connecting it to your Steam Deck, doing that.
That is true, and well, that does work. I just feel like that's really clunky. It's like
Yeah,
it
it's like a really janky workaround, but it's there, I guess.
it's
Um,
it is there, and I'll give it that. It's not like I might have been being a bit melodramatic earlier when I was saying the Steam Deck needed 5G or 4G, but I think it just helped make the Steam Deck a way more of a portable device rather than needing to be like tethered to a phone. It's the same issues that I have with the Switch in terms of online, how a lot of the online feature, well, not a lot, but okay, yeah, like voice chat and stuff are not on the Switch itself. It's on the mobile app, which obviously this isn't the same extent of madness, I'm gonna say, as the Switch is because it's just online connectivity and um if you're just playing at the house or something like that, you're obviously going to have online connectivity. And I have a strong feeling that most people who are interested in the Steam Deck have a smartphone to connect to. But
yeah,
I think that being able to have that option, and again, if someone does make an accessory for it, that'd be great. I'd probably get it, but being able to connect the Steam Deck directly to the network kind of cuts out that middleman, which I think would offer a way more
yeah.
seamless experience.
I I think if there's enough demand for it, either Valve or a third party company will do it.
Yeah.
So I think that will be fine.
Alright, so another thing about the Steam Deck that's rather controversial is the button layout. I have seen so many people talk crap about this button layout, and I want to
Let
talk
me
about
pull up the
this.
Steam Deck button layout so I can speak about it better.
Alright,
Okay, I have it out.
okay.
I I think it looks funny. I'm gonna say that. It definitely looks a bit clunky. Um, but can we judge it till we've felt it? That's what I say.
You see, that's the thing.
Until you've, yeah,
Um, Yeah, I was just gonna say pretty much say exactly what you were about to say. That's the thing. Until you've actually like held it and played on it for a while, I don't think you can actually like for 100% say this button layout was uncomfortable. I feel like what is
Yeah.
happening is a lot of people are say if people who grew up with the Xbox, people who always play Xbox with life, and they look at a PlayStation controller, like, oh, I don't like that thumbstick placement. That must be uncomfortable because they're used to playing the Xbox controller. By
Mm.
the way, I prefer the Xbox controller. Just saying. Anyways, um,
I prefer the dual sense. Fight me. Um.
there are tons of features that I wish Microsoft. Okay, this is the side tangent, but I just need to put this out there. There's tons of
All
features in the
right.
DualSense that I wish Microsoft had put in their Series controller, like the haptics
Mm.
and the gyro, because it's
Mm.
2021. Gyro has been around since the fucking Wii days. There's no reason.
Oh, damn it! We're getting demonetized now.
We're not even monetized to begin with.
Damn it! What have you done? How will I pay for my antics?
Plus, to be fair, we're past the demonetization mark anyways. We're fine.
Yeah, we've already spoken bad about Nintendo. They're striking us.
anyways, anyways, that's how I was saying. There's no reason for a controller in 2021 to not have gyro. The Steam controller has
Yeah.
gyro. The PS3 has had gyro since the P- uh, PS3. I meant to say PlayStation. There's no reason for the Xbox controller to not catch up with technologies that have existed since 2005. Anyways, side tangent aside, I think that oh yeah,
All
also
right.
the Steam Deck has gyro too.
Yes. Um. Well, that makes sense. It's a handheld.
Yeah.
But someone in the audience asked if once we're finished the topics, can he and someone else join and discuss Malukino?
Valukino.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. Where's this at? Is this in general?
Yeah. Um. I don't know. We can just. I guess. We can just cut it. Once we finish the main topics, and he can discuss that if he wants.
I guess.
Um. Yeah. That won't hurt.
Uh,
Okay.
oh, it's some kind of movies.
Yeah. Anyway, back on topic.
All right.
Um.
Let me see.
So one thing I do like about the controllers though is the size, because I felt a Switch Lite and I can't use it because it's too small. Um, it's just too small for my hands, so it's super uncomfortable. So I just don't use it. But the Steam Deck is huge.
Oh, I everybody who's used the Steam Deck who's been able to get a hands-on with it, they have said that the Steam Deck is really comfortable to hold and really comfortable to use. So I'm personally excited to get my hands on it. Once I get mine,
Yeah.
I'm slated for Q1 2022. Once I get mine, I am
Oh,
probably gonna
nice.
do a review of it, so that
All
way
right.
I
All
can
right.
go over it. But because I'm just really excited for it, because just the idea of having a portable PC you can take with you wherever you go is just a really cool
Your
concept to me.
cell phone. Um. But yeah, I think it's quite exciting that new handhelds are coming out.
Yeah, and
And it,
it's a nice
yeah,
sort of change of pace from the all the Nintendo stuff we've been getting lately, especially considering the fact that it's a handheld PC. So it's
yes.
not. I mean, you can do a lot with the Nintendo Switch, but you kind of have to hack it, and Nintendo kind of doesn't want you to do that. Meanwhile, you got chat.
Legally, we okay. Chat. Don't hack your Nintendo Switches, please, Mister Nintendo. Don't delete our video. Okay.
Yeah,
That's our disclaimer done.
yeah, we do not condone hacking your Nintendo Switch.
Nor piracy. We don't condone that.
Yes, buy your games, fellas and ladies, and
Yes,
everyone
pay
else.
outrageous prices. $95 for Breath of the Wild. I love you, Nintendo. Thank you. All right. Back on topic.
All right, but
Um, yeah.
yeah.
I think that the Steam Deck's gonna do well. Like it's gonna be a good product. The Valve Index, everyone loved that, and everyone loves Valve games.
Yeah, well,
So
it waits. We have to wait till Valve starts making more games because
yeah,
I think they've only made. I think the only two games I can think of they released recently was they made that Dota card game and they made Half-Life Alyx. Which don't get me wrong, I have yet to play it, but I've heard really good things about Half-Life Alyx. But come on,
yeah,
Valve, we need to see more game output from you.
yeah. But to be fair, I would rather a game every decade at this point than yearly games that are terrible.
Ubisoft. I'm sorry, did I say something?
Yeah. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Microtransactions. Yeah, they.
All
Mm,
right.
yeah,
Um, I wanted to say something, but I'd be going a bit off topic. So, should we move on to our next set of topics?
yeah, I think so.
All right, let me.
Um, so speculation for the future of PlayStation.
I think the PlayStation is going to do well, as you can see with the fact that
I hope Horizon Zero Dawn will be. Horizon Forbidden West will be cool.
the demo of Horizon Forbidden West will crash the PlayStation servers.
Oh, let's get it! I won't be able to use my PS5 again like launch day. Um,
You know what's crazy to think about?
what?
Despite the silicone shortage, more PlayStation 5s have been sold during the same span of time of PlayStation 4s.
Damn it, Sony, you're stealing all my sand. Um, okay. So, the PSVR 2, with our limited info, um, I think it's gonna be a solid VR headset, if it can be used on PC.
I don't know.
Because, yeah,
I'm gonna have to wait and see. From what we've seen from the patents, I'm hoping it's gonna be more of a VR experience, like the Quest 2, because that's the VR
mm,
headset I've most experience with, rather than a VR experience like the PS4 VR,
yeah.
because I haven't really I've used PSVR a little bit, but from what I can tell from all the accessories, it's using that same PlayStation Move technology. That
Listen,
yeah,
my PSVR, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. But my gosh, the tracking.
yeah, that's exactly what I was getting on
No,
about.
I
The
was playing The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Amazing game. If you have a VR headset and haven't played it, what are you doing with your life? But I would aim a gun at someone, and my hand would start teleporting, and I kept dying, and I didn't know why. And then I took my VR headset off, and behind me a window was slightly open. And that's why, because of the light from the window. And
yeah,
that was painful.
yeah. So not Nintendo. Shoot. Um, I think
We're
Sony
too busy like saying how bad Nintendo is.
But Sony should definitely have a better technology, tracking technology than
They
what
do.
the
It's Inside Out, I believe.
Inside Out.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
the cameras are in the headset itself, like the Quest in Quest 2.
oh, okay. Is that with the PSVR or PS or what we think is going to be with PSVR 2?
No,
Because
I'm pretty sure they've confirmed it for PSVR 2.
oh, okay, that's going to be way better than
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. That'll be actually good.
yeah, I mean, I've used like I've said before, I've used PSVR before. I've never personally had it because it just looks so clunky to me. And the fact that the VR controllers, the PlayStation Move controllers from what, like 2000, it's early 2010s or late
Yeah.
2000s, I don't see that working very well for VR.
It
Um,
worked okay if you didn't need to turn around and stayed still
I
and didn't have light.
considering the fact that the PS5 can do up to 120 FPS, I think it's going to provide a more comfortable VR experience for most
Yeah.
players.
No, I never had issue with frame rate really. Besides Rec Room, that game runs at like 15 FPS last time I tried it. So that's not good. But I've never had issues with FPS making me want to throw up.
I mean, I I first time I used PSVR, I got motion sick, but I don't know if that's because it was my first time using VR.
That could be it.
And
How long did you use it for?
I used it for like only like an hour, not even maybe not even an hour.
Well, maybe since it was your first time, it made you sick because you used it for too long.
That,
Because with VR, you need to gradually get into it.
yeah, that's fair because I went from only being able to do that to spending a few hours on my Oculus Quest.
Yeah,
So that was probably it. But I still think that having you know the more advanced tracking of the
yeah. And
PSVR 2 will
finger
greatly benefit.
tracking. That's very exciting to me.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, the touch sensors on the controller, that's quite exciting.
Is it finger tracking like what the Valve Index has, where you can tell the position of your fingers, or is it like
That we don't know, but I do believe it has haptic sensors on it, so it should be able to do some form of finger tracking, I believe.
so like what the Quest and the Valve Index have, where if you like put your finger on the analog stick where the buttons, it'll register that as like it'll know you have your fingers on the buttons and stuff.
Yeah. Let me read the blog quickly, to just confirm.
All right.
Um, Adaptive triggers haptic finger touch detection. The controller can detect your fingers without any pressing in the areas where you place your thumb, index, or middle fingers. This enables you to make more natural gestures with your hands during gameplay. So it has finger tracking.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty interesting. If it depending on how it works, if it I mean I'm not assuming this to be groundbreaking necessarily. I think it might be a groundbreaking for its price because
Yeah.
I think one of the most finger tracking on the most expensive the only headset I can think of with really good finger tracking right now that's out is the Valve Index. I'm not sure if any other headsets do that because mostly because I don't really
Um,
follow
not if
VR.
not officially, but there was a very interesting story of a guy who made VR haptic gloves in his workshop, and they apparently work quite well.
Ooh,
And you can buy it as a kit actually and make it yourself, which is quite exciting. And they just work with most VR games. Obviously not. They work similar to the Valve Index in most games, but some games have full motion, uh, hand tracking and haptics.
that's a
Um, yeah, and then there's industry ones which are super expensive and normal people can't get. But we ignore those because they don't matter to us.
oh yeah, yeah. I still think it's pretty cool for to have that sort of technology for on a
Yeah,
consumer level.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they price it. What's also nice is the resolution bump. It's a big one. It's a big old resolution bump.
What's the resolution bump on PSVR 2?
So I believe it's 1080p per panel on PSVR 1. Uh, Let me see. It is 4000 by 2040, so significantly high, twice, uh, more than twice,
I think
more than double.
I think that's better than the um
And it has a 110 degrees field of view, which is also quite good. And it's HDR OLED. That will look beautiful.
and the best part about it is just because it's VR and you're constantly gonna be moving
Yeah.
your head, you won't have to worry about burning as much.
That is true. OLED is amazing for VR, actually.
Man, I love OLED. I just don't know if I want OLED on my game consoles. I know technically um all screens can burn in if you leave the same image
Mm.
on them long enough, but I don't know. I guess I don't really play my Switch very often. Again, this is a sort of side tangent, but I don't know if I'd want OLED on my game consoles. I don't know. That maybe that's just a personal
Um,
preference. I think OLED is a great screen technology for like my phone, but
it's interesting because we have an OLED TV in my house, and no burning. It's a few years old. My old phone, so much burning, like it was excessive, and I used it for about 2 years. It was 4 years old by the time I ended using it, But I used to chat in a Discord server and it had hashtag general on it. That burned in, my keyboard burned in. The colors were so broken because of all the burning. It was terrible.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's I think as long as the image is moving enough, which they would in a game, it's fine.
I've heard stories of actually one of the members in one of the servers I'm in. They told me a story about how they had an OLED Vita and they played
Oh,
Wipeout so much that the UI from Wipeout was burned into the
oh
screen.
yeah, no, that's always the worry with OLED. Um,
And that's
but yeah.
that's part of my kind of concern because unlike a lot of movies and stuff with like games, there's a lot of HUD elements and stuff like that that can burn. I'm assuming that it's gotten better throughout the years because I think developers might take OLED more into consideration now.
Hmm.
But it's still kind of worrisome. Like I'm afraid with how much I play Persona 5, I'm just gonna see a calendar on my thing.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was gonna wait for an OLED monitor eventually. Like I am upgrading soon, but then in a few years I wanted to get an OLED monitor. But I just have to wonder, is that such a great idea? Because there's a lot of still things. Say if I'm chatting on Discord, a lot of things are still there. If I'm on Google, a lot of things are still there. If I'm in Blender, a lot of things not moving there. So my monitor would probably get so much burning.
I mean, I there's a lot of modern burn-in reduction technologies, so I don't think that you'd really have to worry about that as much, but it definitely
Um,
would still be something to consider.
yeah, no, I think I would actually because Linus Tech Tips, he got a 55-inch OLED monitor, and within a few months it got burning, like not even a year. And same with another tech YouTuber.
Well, I guess there is a reason why they don't really make OLED monitors. But
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense because with a lot of computers and computer applications, there's gonna be a very static image. But I mean, I wouldn't think so. But I'm not gonna be there and be like this person who actually did the research and you know tested it themselves is wrong. I'm right because obviously Linus Tech Tips knows more about this stuff than random internet
yeah.
user number 574312999.
Yeah. Uh yeah, and yeah, it was even a monitor he like praised a lot, and then he had to go, well, actually, it's not that good because it has burn-in.
Oh, I think I remember that video actually. If I'm now that you
Yeah,
mention
he
that.
was like, this monitor is replacing my ultra wide. A few months later, so guys, actually, funny thing about this monitor.
All right, so we're starting to get off topic. So should we transition
Yeah.
over to what are we playing?
Yeah. Um, I am currently playing. What am I playing? I'm playing Grounded. That's quite fun. Back for Blood. That's cool.
So I've been.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
you've been playing Persona.
How did you know?
That's just a hunch.
I've been playing Persona. I've been replaying Persona 5 through the third semester of Persona 5, and I've also been playing Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade. I
Ooh,
haven't gotten to the Intergrade chapters yet, but I am currently powering through the main story. It's a really fun game from what I played. I didn't grow up with Final Fantasy at
yeah,
all, so I've tried to get into the original Final Fantasy 7, but it just looks so dated. The combat was
yeah.
really
I would just play the remake, honestly.
but
My my friends shout at me for it, but I find graphics in games quite important because I love good graphics. So if a game's graphics make look really bad, it turns me off from the game quite a bit.
I would counter to that and say it's not so much the graphics in general, but graphic styles and how they're executed.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Like the game could have like I think Ghost of Tsushima, for example. I'm not a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, I've played it before, and it was a solid enough game. I could tell it was a quality game, but it just wasn't for me. But I can at least admire how beautiful the game looks, and I think that's
Okay, someone in chat wants me to say unionization. I don't know why. W- Now he knows I'm not a chemist. Okay.
I think that's an ionization.
Oh.
I didn't. I thought it was unionization until he said, "Now we know you're not a chemist."
I still didn't know what it meant. All right. Uh,
Anyways,
yeah, back on topic.
um, let me go back to the pins so I can remember. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII Remake. Um, okay, so while I can applaud I think that Ghost of Tsushima is a game that looks great, and I don't think that's because of its good graphics per se, but I think that's more so towards good graphic design. Because if you
Mm,
have a lot of high quality models, but they just don't mesh together and they don't help create a cohesive world, it's going to be a lot harder to immerse yourself in the world. And despite even if the game is, this 4K with ultra ray tracing and all that fun stuff, I don't think it's going to look very good
yeah.
because it just all those fancy graphics just might not mesh together.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I say I like graphics, but I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much because Terraria, it's like 8-bit. It's a great game. Bloodborne, my favorite game of all time. Graphics still hold up pretty well, but aren't next gen, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a great game because the gameplay is just amazing.
I have Bloodborne downloaded. I just need to start playing
You better play it.
it.
Like, I will make you.
I need to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake first because I started that game. I really want to try to finish it. I'm probably not going to go
All
through
right.
the plat at first, but I do want to at least go through the game once. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
anyways, so I guess that will wrap up that chapter. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah. Nintendo time.
Oh,
Who
so
would have seen this coming?
it's not like we foreshadowed it all throughout the
Oh,
episode.
look at the first topic, Nintendo Switch and the cloud. Wow, I would have never suspected this.
So
All right.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Cloud releases on Nintendo Switch are stupid, and I hate them. They are, especially when they're games like Kingdom Hearts. Okay, first of all, as everyone probably already knows, not a Kingdom Hearts fan, but I can't. I don't want to become a Kingdom Hearts fan because I can't play them on the Switch because they're cloud. Okay, I can't. No, actually, I can't play them on the Switch because I don't have internet in my house, so I can't play them.
Ah,
But
I'm a bit uneducated in this. What is cloud releases?
okay, so cloud. You know how when you buy games off Stadia, where you just
Yeah,
play the game off their servers. It's basically the same idea,
yeah.
where you buy the game from
Uh,
Nintendo, and the publisher of the game will host servers. You connect to the server, and you can play the game from there.
oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
I mean, see, here's my thing with services like Stadia, where which I've used Stadia before, and it's not terrible. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy games off Stadia, but I think that if you don't want to put in a lot of money into games, and if you want to just stick with the base Stadia plan, I think you could probably get away with that. But
Yeah,
the thing is, with Stadia, yes, if I buy a game off Stadia, it's only the cloud version. But here's the thing: I can also play that game version of the game uh, on any device. So, say if I wanted to play
yes.
it on my phone, I could do that. Say if I wanted to play it on my computer, I could do that. Say if I wanted, I think Stadia even works on the Xbox. So say if I wanted to play on the
Oh, wow.
Xbox, I think I'm gonna make sure with that because I think that I know that I think GeForce now works on the Xbox because
Oh,
uh
wow.
that's how people would play Death Stranding on there. Let me check. Stadia, Xbox.
Well, I suppose if it can work through a browser, right? It can.
Yeah. Xbox's new web browser can run Google Stadia. So yeah, I was right. It can run Google Stadia.
Oh, let's get it.
So unlike say if you buy it on the Switch, you can only play that cloud version on the Switch, which in my opinion, if I'm going to play a cloud version of a game, I'd much rather buy it off Stadia where I can have more options and it's more I can consume that game however I want. I'm not locked to playing it on the Nintendo Switch, which in not only can I not just not only can I play it on any device I want, but I can also use any controller I want to. Stuff like so because I'm a PC gamer, this stuff also matters to me because I like the Xbox controller, as I said before. And while the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is kind of like an Xbox controller, I feel like
Yeah,
if I buy a game for the Switch, I want to be able to play it on the Switch, not have it streamed to me from a data center somewhere.
yeah. The thing is, right, with streaming, there's a reason it doesn't exist here because the data centers and servers are very far away from me. Um, so that probably just locks me out of all those games
Yeah.
because just my average ping is 150 like in most games. That's just the average ping. So I can't imagine how painful it will be to have to try and game stream something from say and that's with the closest servers. So if I had to game stream it from even the closest servers, it's going to be horrible input lag
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
just going to be a bad experience if they even make it available.
Unless they put data servers over there, which who knows if they decide to do that.
They won't.
Yeah, exactly.
They won't even give us regional pricing. Why would they put data centers here?
Well, to be fair, with the case with Nintendo, I think it's the publishers who host the streaming services, not the.
Nintendo published Breath of the Wild,
To
and it's $95 here.
It's still ridiculous. I mean, I think it was the famous Gabe Newell who once said that piracy is a services problem, not a
Yeah.
not. And if you don't want people to pirate your games, Nintendo, maybe try regional pricing. It might help you a little bit rather than
Mm.
pricing games like Metroid Dread is for $60, which I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for, but Metroid Dread isn't worth $60 to me.
Your opinions, they disagree with it, so you're going to be shot in the streets tomorrow.
Probably.
Sorry to say.
Did you see what? Did you see what Jin put talking about the cost?
Well, in a second. How much does Oh, look at that Metroid Dredge just uh how much? Uh, hang on, let me convert it. It's only $76. That's well done, Nintendo.
Only
Yeah,
$76. Damn.
only $76. They've done good, boys.
Only it will.
They're just talking.
Anyway.
Why do you abuse me like this? Okay, so for anyone not watching, it's basically a guy sending dating tips in our general chat to me. And yeah, someone's just expressing how much I that will never happen to me, and how I will be lonely forever. So that's pretty pog. Um, all right.
All right.
So let's get back on topic instead of laughing in my suffering. Um, okay. So yeah, you're saying about wondrous Nintendo Magic pricing.
Yep. All right. So next on the docket is the NSO expansion pack, which I also have a lot to say about.
All right.
I think it is. I know this is a hot take straight off the presses. that literally everyone else on Twitter has. I don't think it's worth $50. It's offering.
What? How could you say such a thing? They're giving you old games. I think. What are they giving you?
They're giving you no, not SNES, Genesis and Nintendo 64 games. So
Oh, it's a steal.
nothing from this decade.
That's a steal. It's gonna cost $100 here. I can bet you that.
I mean,
Because Nintendo loves us.
oh yeah,
Um,
they like to price gouge you, that's for sure.
yep. In the country where no one can afford food, why not charge them extra?
uh,
Um,
100 IQ.
gotta love, gotta love Nintendo.
Yeah, 100 IQ play from them.
All right. Um, yeah, no, that's just honestly that's just a scam. Like, this is my opinion. Don't sue me, Nintendo. Because I know you will. Uh, but like seriously, $50 a year for such old games,
It
and like not even all of them.
Yeah, it's not so much the fact that they're doing old games that I have a problem with. It's the lack of variety of systems and the fact that they are so insistent on drip feeding these games. I get that this is a subscription service, so getting games on them is harder than, say if they weren't they were doing like the classic virtual console that they used to do, because then publishers could go, let's just upload our ROM to the eShop so we can get sales. But the thing is that there are several games that people want to play, as proven by the fact that when Metroid Dread came out, let's see if we can find the article. But when Metroid Dread came out, the Metroid Fusion on the Wii U, the prices went up. I mean, not prices, the sales for that game went up.
I was about to say like Nintendo, what are you doing?
No, but the sales went up, proving that people are willing to go another way to use this old hardware to play these games. And
Yeah,
I just don't understand why Nintendo doesn't take advantage of that and say, "Yo, you know that awesome those Metroid games that you are trying to play on the Wii U? Well, I got good news for you. The Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack not only offers Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis, but we also have Game Boy coming. We got Game Boy Color. We got Game Boy Advance coming. We just got a whole lineup of games, and every month, each one of these systems will get at least one game. I think if Nintendo did that, like say if they not only did Sega Genesis but did Sega Master System games, I think that'd be pretty cool. Just because not a lot of people have even heard of the Sega Master System, so it'd be cool to experience a systems library that they probably are unfamiliar with. Another system that they think they could have probably introduced would be maybe Dreamcast, because while the Dreamcast is, I think the Dreamcast was released in 1999. I think that it would be really cool to experience all those Dreamcast games on the Switch. And it still
yeah.
the Switch isn't powerful enough to emulate Dreamcast games. I'm pretty sure there's a Dreamcast simulator on the Switch right now if you hack your Switch. But again, might I
Don't do that though.
don't do that.
Nintendo will hunt you down and send a hitman. That is also a joke. Don't sue me, Nintendo. Um,
I just think that they're purposely trying to give you not a deal while trying to pretend like having DLC is justification. Um, for like they also have Animal Crossing DLC. Luckily, it isn't locked behind the paid online, uh, the expansion pack, but it is included. And obviously, of course, if you don't subscribe to the if you unsubscribe from the expansion pack, you're gonna lose access to the DLC, because why wouldn't you?
yep, makes sense.
But I
Um, the thing is, they can get away with charging so much for half a service. Um, because of the fanboys. The fanboys just let it happen because they love Nintendo and will do anything it wants them to,
uh,
even though Nintendo does not care about them.
uh,
So they
I'm
will, yeah.
I'm gonna have to counter with that, because let me go ahead and pull it up.
Ah, you got another fanboy tweet.
Nope, not that. So the Wii U, we all
Yeah,
I'd say the only people who who really cared about, and again, this is this wiggle room here. I'd say the Nintendo fanboy audience that you're talking about for the
Mm.
Wii U. It was
No, I'm talking about the Switch.
oh, I know, but I think
All right.
it's great to look at the Wii U because you know obviously Nintendo fans are gonna eat up whatever Nintendo puts out, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the Wii U, which the Wii U only sold 13.56 million. And while I don't think I obviously if someone was following Nintendo at the time, I think they would know that the Wii U was its own system and not some add-on for the Wii. So I think that the main core fanboy demographic is within that 13.896 million, which considering the grand number of switches out there, which I think is 80 million at this point,
Oh wow.
it isn't. It's like it's a
Okay, that's a
fraction.
fair point.
But I think what people are missing is the fact that their casual gamers also exist who don't follow this sort of thing. So what they probably see is oh, Nintendo 64. I grew up with the Nintendo 64 and I'd like to play those games again. Let's buy that. And I think for
Yeah.
people who grew up with those games and want to experience those games again, I think buying the $50 subscription is a lot more economical for them because keep in mind these are casual gamers. They don't realize that you
Mm.
could just emulate these games. Again, Nintendo not condoning you emulate the games,
Don't
but
do that.
if you were to supposedly emulate the games, you could. They don't really think about that. They don't really know that. They don't care to do the research with that. All they say is,
Yeah.
look at this Nintendo 64. I grew up with Nintendo 64. I should get this because not only that, but it's a lot more economical than buying some of those games off the Nintendo 64 cartridges and buying a system. Because I don't know if people remember, but the Nintendo 64 didn't sell all that well.
Uh.
um, Let me pull up the actual sales numbers real quick.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Um, let's see.
Um.
I mean,
All
the
right. I see your point. I guess it's not only the fanboys.
it's kind of like
Um. Yeah.
how I feel about the whole PS5 scalping situation. Yes, PS5 scalping is bad, but when you take into the account that literally everyone and their grandmother wants a PlayStation 5, even if there was zero scalping going on, there'd always be these people who are mad because they can't get a system because
Oh yeah, for
literally
sure.
everybody wants one.
No, it's interesting because in my country, thank you Sony for actually caring about us. Because they sell it officially here. Yeah, it's for like 200 and something dollars more, but for us that's a pretty good markup. It's easy to get it here. I got one on launch day. It didn't sell out within milliseconds like it did in say the US. My friend got it later. He just had to wait like a week or two till it came in stock again. And same with my other friend. Like at most, you have to wait a week or two. It's same with 30 series graphics card and stuff. Things are easy to get here, which is nice. They just cost a lot, which I guess is the same as scalping. My
Well,
country's just a scalper.
it's better than what Best Buy is doing, where they're I think in order if you want first access to their consoles and stuff, you have to subscribe to their like $200 year. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's we've got to the point where retailers are doing the scalping at this point.
My government's doing the scalping. I'm joking. Don't sue me, government.
I
I
don't
just need to cover my bases.
I don't
Um,
I think they do more than just sue you.
yeah. No, but it's true. You have to pay serious import taxes. Yeah,
That's kind of ridiculous.
yeah, it's not fun,
um.
but at least it's only $200.
All right. So we have I think we've exhausted all we can talk about with the NSO expansion pack. Let's talk about the SwolLED.
The slow lead. Um, I'm kind of mixed on the slow lead because it's been a while since a major Nintendo revision. I don't really count the Switch Lite as a major revision because it's just a watered down Switch. So they could have done more, I guess. Um, What do you mean? Switch Lite sucks. Swoled by like a mile. I can't hold Switch Lite. It's too uncomfortable for me. Because I got big boy hands. But just give me a second. Um, I think it's a fine for its price. I think it's a fine upgrade. Like here, it's only $70 more than the base Switch, which isn't bad for a better screen. But it's been a while, so I think they could have done more, like release a new console.
Yeah, I think that Nintendo's probably gonna, rather than releasing like an upgraded SKU of the Switch, like a Switch Pro, if you will, I think they're probably gonna just opt for releasing a brand new Switch entirely at this point.
I think that's better because I don't know. It's like the PS4 Pro and the like 3DS XL and stuff. Like they're marginal increases which get very limited support. Which it's like you pay all this money and it's not even given first class priority because the games need to work for the base system anyway. With an OLED, you know every game you get, it's gonna take advantage of the OLED because it'll look beautiful.
That and there's also more internal storage. Although I would also argue that 64 gigabytes. I know we were just talking about how 64 gigabytes wasn't enough for the
For
Steam Deck.
emulation, it's enough.
Well, for emulation, but for like casual PC gaming. But I'd even argue that
No,
64.
I wouldn't say for casual PC gaming. It's not enough for any PC gaming in my opinion.
I,
Unless it's you solely play Minecraft.
Someone could just you don't know my life. I could just solely play Minecraft.
That's true, but just do it on your phone then. Damn.
But Java Edition though.
You're right. I need those shaders.
um,
Um, but yeah, I think it's only enough unupgraded for emulation.
yeah,
But don't do emulation now, kids.
but I think that the Nintendo Switch OLED is a okay purchase if you don't have a Switch already. But I
Yeah,
honestly, like, I have my Redbox Switch right beside me, and I cannot justify spending, you know, $350 on just a better screen. I know there's a lot of other improvements like the advanced kickstand, but I'm gonna be completely honest, it's hard to care about the advanced kickstand when I don't use the kickstand on my regular Switch as it is.
yeah. Um, Honestly, the original kickstand, I don't know why they didn't just make it how the advanced one is now, because there were a lot of issues with it. It's very flimsy. I
I
don't know why they couldn't just see through that.
I think that the issue was the fact that Nintendo did not think the Switch was going to do as well as it did. So they probably were scrapping together the Switch, and had it probably as a Hail Mary, because keep in mind that when the Switch came out, they were still planning on supporting the 3DS, because I think it was like sort of how the DS was, but the DS was this experimental thing. So they wanted to be able to fall back on, let's say the Switch flopped tremendously like the Wii U did, they wanted to have something to fall back on. So say if the Switch flops, well, we can just keep supporting the 3DS because the 3DS I think had like eight. Let's see, I think the 3DS did. Let's see how many units the 3DS sold.
I know it sold a lot.
75.94 million units.
Oh,
So
wow.
if the Switch flopped and they wouldn't be investing a bunch of money into the Switch, they could just keep supporting the 3DS. So that's why I think the Switch isn't, some beast. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's also to cut costs too, but I think that being able to create a cheap sort of tablet thing that um, they can, sort of sit, kind of just get away from the Wii U from, I think that was what they were trying to do because they were trying to move on from the Wii U probably as
Yeah,
quickly as possible.
that's quite possible.
Um,
But I think for just a revision, yeah, I think that the Switch OLED's fine. It's not like hectically more expensive. Um, but it's just really a better screen and some more storage. It's not worth it to upgrade, in my opinion, if you already have a Switch. But if you want to get into Switch, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a great like way to get into the ecosystem. But
Yeah,
yeah. Anyways,
because OLED looks beautiful.
oh yeah, I just recently experienced OLED on my phone, and I thought that was really cool. I would remote play games from my PC to my phone just to see how they would look on an OLED screen.
I know. Um, um, someone from the chat said that the Switch OLED is fine if you have the 2017 Switch and do more handheld gaming. I say it depends how much money you have to burn.
Yeah, that's true. Also, the 2017 Switch does have an advantage that the Switch OLED doesn't have.
What's that?
Uh, you know, homebrew because
Uh,
the 2017 Switches are ridiculously easy to hack.
oh wow. But don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't hack it.
don't hack it. We don't condone piracy. We don't condone hacking. But
Yeah, don't do that. Um, but yeah, and it's cheaper by a lot because you can get a second hand.
oh yeah. But
Um, but yeah, I think I'm mostly waiting for the new Nintendo console because yeah, I'm not getting into I'm not getting a Switch, especially if I can legally just buy a Switch game and put it on my PC.
I mean,
Uh,
if you want to
what's the
be
point?
if you want to be technical about it, there's a video I watched by a YouTuber called Neryl called Emulation, where where your hobby ends and crime begins.
Yeah.
Technically, if you download the game and you from the internet, it doesn't matter if you own the game or not. It's technically illegal.
No,
Now,
no, no. So what
I don't know how law works in your area, but based off of U.S. law, that's the way it is. I'm not sure. Again,
no, no, no.
I don't.
So I googled it. It's that's illegal. But buying the physical cartridge and taking the ROM from that, Google says is legal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Oh,
I wouldn't buy the game, then pirate it. That's stupid. I would buy the physical game, rip it from the cartridge, and then put it on my PC.
so basically, what I'm planning on doing with my uh V1 Switch once I get it.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to rip it. I don't know if I need a Switch in the first place. If I do, well,
You
that sucks.
do. I think you need a V1 Switch. You need
Are
to
you
get
sh-
you need to get a hackable Switch because you need Switch cards are encrypted, so you need to
uh
be able to decrypt them. And
okay, guess I ain't emulating Switch boys. I
Nintendo,
don't have that. Damn it,
Nintendo freaking
Nintendo, you
approved.
ruined my dreams. You are forcing my hand down a slippery slope, which I will not go down. Don't sue me, Nintendo. Um, but yeah, that sucks. So I need a Switch anyway.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
the point of that?
yeah, yeah. Like if you want, at the end of this podcast, I can just send you the video that I was talking about. Of course, it's based on U.S. law, not the law of wherever you live. But I imagine the laws aren't much different.
Honestly, yeah, probably. And here the laws are more suggestions than anything. Uh,
You could not, just illegally download that Switch game, but we're not.
which I will not
Obviously not.
because I don't want to get into trouble.
I'm not downloading it via your
And
VPN. Definitely
I
not.
don't have a VPN. But and I think I should support the devs, even if they're price gouging me. But I don't know. I'll figure out a way to do it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess worst case scenario, you could always do the alternate route, like what I said earlier, where you could just, buy the game, then download it. Because
Yeah.
that's I like realistically, I think as long as you aren't being stupid and trying to, like I down pirating every single game under the sun, I don't think the FBI is gonna open your door and be like, "You are under arrest for pirating or whatever." I think the worst that could happen is you might get a C&D from your ISP, which
What is a C&D?
a cease and desist.
Oh, oh, that's fine. That's just a stop it, and I'll just say okay.
Yeah. Um.
Um, all
Anyway.
right, but I won't do that, Nintendo. Don't block me from everything Nintendo based. I still use my DSi from time to time.
unless you're
Uh,
unless you're still buying games from DSi where they don't care about you, sir.
yeah. Uh, One thing about the DSi is its battery is amazing. I haven't used it for months, probably close to a year. Let's see if it switches on, and it does. Powers up. Let's go, baby.
Speaking of
Amazing.
amazing batteries, you know what battery is a tank? The PS
Um,
the PS
yeah.
Vita battery is great because you
All
can
right.
have this thing in sleep mode forever, and it's great.
All right, that's a wrap for Jincast episode 1. Thank you to Yog for joining me, and I hope to see any of you again. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe and give us some feedback on how we can improve.